how much are you hearing about the green shift as you're going door to door?
Well, there's 4 things we should know about the green shift. First, the major problem with the green shift is the out-and-out lies that are being spread about it. Even before it was released, the Conservatives had these...
No, but do people grasp it when you go door to door?
I think once you have
an opportunity... questions about it?
Now that people are having... Yes, I am. And now that we have an opportunity to explain what it is, that it's a shift, not a tax on everything or all this other nonsense that's being spread about it, people are actually really getting behind the idea now. It's inevitable that we're heading this way. Unlike the other parties that are hiding in their environmental plans, Mr. Dion had the guts and the courage to stand up and speak about his plan and accept all challenges, all comers, the plan had warts and all, but all summer we've been working on it. We've met with farmers and we made changes to the plan, like the CPP and universal health care plans that were first brought into the country that were necessary weren't perfect. And I give Mr. Dion a lot of credit. It shows his leadership. He had the guts to stand up and stand by his plan instead of hiding it under the table like Mr. Harper is. And again, who knows what's going on with the NDP actual policy, but as far as the platform itself, this is inevitable. We are shifting towards a greener economy, and this is a shift. It's 10% income tax cuts for Canadians that's being shifted towards things we want less of, like pollution and waste. And if people take...
our homes. We want to heat our homes.
Gordon O'Connor, there's no shortage of countries that have lined up behind this idea of shifting.
And there's no shortage that have failed. Go check what's happening in Europe. They're actually failing. They're trying to get out of it. Their emissions have actually gone up. So I don't want to use Europe as an example because they're a bad example. But you want to talk about our riding and the green shift, it's dead on arrival, okay? Because in our riding, there's hardly anybody would get any advantage out of the green shift.
How so? How do you mean?
Well, we are a suburban, rural riding. We've got to travel. We actually have to heat our houses. It's not a luxury that maybe the Liberals consider. And so we've got to have these extended. There is no grand transit plan throughout my riding. My riding stretches to the end of Mississippi Mills and up at the edge of Arnprior. Okay.
Mr. O'Connor, have you read the Green Shift plan?
Yes, I have. I downloaded it. And if you want me to start criticizing the
so
Green
how
Shift...
so you're saying that the 10% income tax cut that's being shifted, that's revenue neutral, that the Auditor General who's independent...
If you make $60,000 or above, anybody in this land will not get 1 penny benefit out of this.
That's right. It's called revenue neutral. You're not losing either. You're coming out equal. If you take steps to reduce your carbon footprint, as it's called, you'll actually save money.
More than $60,000
you're not
in this
losing.
country
You're coming
will
out
lose
equal.
money.
This is a great plan, and it's been...
Let's let Paul Arbor.
Well, I mean, we've attacked the NDP environmental plan, but that plan has been out there for years. We haven't changed it. We know where we're going. We want to make sure that big polluters pay for it. We don't want the average Canadian to have to pay for it because that's the way we've done things. Oh, you make a big polluting mess. Look at the Syncrude tailing ponds. And who pays for it to clean up? Who pays for it when they disappear, go bankrupt, go overseas? We do. And we look at, you know, the mistakes that have been made. We've had problems where we dumped sewage into the Ottawa River. Everybody knew that this day was coming, where the system would have to be retrofitted. There was no money for it. Where did the money come from? Nobody decided that, oh, let's be proactive, let's look ahead. And as far as the green shift, I mean, this is something that all of a sudden the Liberal Party, oh, there's an election, we have to come up with an idea. And they come up with this idea. The NDP has been supporting the environment. This is the premise of the party since so long that we've been doing this.
Okay, guys, we're on the verge of wrapping up. I want to end with a final question, and it's a premise, and I want to see whether or not you agree with the premise. And it's the sense that this so far has not been an election that Canadians have been engaged in. And there seems to be a sense that Canadians are less and less engaged with federal politics. Gordon O'Connor, is that a premise that you agree with? And if so, what's happening? How can we change that?
Well, it's certainly not true in my riding. If you check the record, last time we got a 75% vote turnout in our riding, which was 10% above the national average. The national average is about 65%, and we should encourage it. And mainly it's among the young. If you pick up 100 senior citizens, they vote at 75%. But 100 people 34 and under, they vote at 25%. And I think it's just a problem of life where when you're under 34 or that age group, you don't have mortgages. You don't care that much about taxes. You're living, I know you have, but I'm talking about a group of millions of people. They tend not to be engaged in worrying about governments. But as they get a little older, they start to realize that governments affect their life, the municipal, provincial, and federal, that they take more than half of all their income. More than half of your income goes in taxes at the different levels. And people start to get engaged.
Do you agree with the premise, Justin?
I think that younger people are not engaged right now because they're seeing what they're seeing on television and what they're seeing in the House of Commons. It's just they're becoming so apathetic to it. Instead of parties putting forward policy and debating policy, let's take the green shift again, for example, or instead of the Conservative Party having like pooping puffins or talking oil spills, how about you actually debate policy versus policy? And that's what people want to see. They want to start believing in their political leaders and representatives, and that they stand for something beyond sound bites and utter nonsense. And I think that it's because that young people feel like they're being treated like they're stupid, and they're not. There's a lot of bright young people who want to believe in something, who care passionately about a lot of different issues, but they just see what they're seeing on television, and to them it's a joke. And to me, I'm really trying to make them get involved and just realize that they can make a difference. And you're right, Mr. Cronin. I think my figures I have are 65 and over voted an 89% clip, and we had 18 to 25 voting an 11% clip, and that's a real problem. And so we really have to target younger people, get them interested, get them involved, and make them believe in something. So,
Paul?
Well, I agree with Gordon. I mean, our riding is probably the most engaged. Unfortunately, most of them are engaged with the wrong party. But it's difficult to take him seriously when he says that we have to engage young people, yet I'm told that he doesn't want to come to a debate at a high school. This is where we have to start. This is what matters. For me, I'm going to be in this for the long haul. And I am out there talking to youth. When I see them on the street corner, I make sure that I engage them. When I'm handing out leaflets at parades, when I'm talking to people, I make sure I talk to the young people, because they need to know that politicians aren't just politicians. I spoke to a gentleman at the Richmond Fair, and he said, I have no time for politicians. And that's because politicians have no time for people. We need to get away from the system where we have lawyers and businessmen and lifetime politicians representing people. We need the people to represent themselves, and that's what I'm offering. I'm offering to be a knowledge worker representing knowledge workers in the House of Commons.
Well, I don't think someone's education or profession, making a blanket statement that all lawyers or businessmen aren't qualified or shouldn't be. I think a lot of great men and women who are lawyers and businessmen, fantastic politicians, and so not only,
The other thing is that through my time as MP, I go to all the schools. I don't just do it in a 35-day period. I have a schedule to follow like you have. You take your priorities. My priorities, I talk to school kids all the time. I talk to them in Parliament. I encourage them to vote. I tell them, no matter who you support, get out there and vote.
Well, it's difficult for me working 18-hour days to do that.
Guys, thanks very much. This has been
Thank you
great.
very much.
Thanks for your time, and good luck to all of you.
Okay.
thanks a lot for your time.
Okay.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks.